Yo, what is up guys? It is DevRollin and I'm here to bring you a small syncing tutorial. It's pretty easy to do, I'll be honest with you. Syncing is like one of the basic things like ever to do. So what we're going to try to be achieving is something very simple. I'm just going to be going over the basics of syncing and how to sync. So I'm going to go ahead and go within the project file. I'm going to pull a clip out. We're going to use this Slay Nuke clip. I mean, this is basically how I do Cinemax too. But it's pretty easy. So just go ahead and import your song. And then you want to import your video that you want to edit. You're just going to make a new conference selection as it's a song. I'll name this tutorial just to give to you guys in case you guys want it. And we'll go ahead and go to levels. And what we're trying to achieve is figure out the rhythm of the song rather than stick to the beats. Because if you stick to the rhythm of the beats, stick to the beats, and make it really awkward. Unless it's like got a constant beat, then you have to make your own. Because if it's like this one, like, let me go to demonstrate to you. I'm just a young nigga chillin' on it. See how all the beats are like scattered across the place? Well, since that's the case, you want to go ahead and double click on the footage. You go ahead and line up these ticks right here, either alt left bracket or the ticks, which I'll use alt left bracket and alt right bracket in this case. So he's gonna die right here, and then here comes the clip. You want to get it to where he's about to scope in, right? You want to cut it there. I just want to go to the very end of the clip, and my end of the clip is a quad head times 2. So then you just want to alt right bracket or alt left bracket, and then on the beginning part, and then so you just want to then drag it in. I mean, this part at the end isn't really necessary because what you're going to be doing is just importing it. And then from there, you're just gonna Control Alt F, fit it to your screen, or fit it to whatever resolution you have it to. Mine is 480p because I was doing a motion design, so I'll go ahead and set it to 1440. Right, or I'll type in here 2560. Just set this to 2K actually, because I have a preset that allows that to happen. Anyway, Control F, Control T. Go ahead and mute the layer. You're going to set a keyframe from the beginning. And you want to delete these 2 keyframes. These are irrelevant. And she already put that keyframe down in the middle. So it's frozen at this part on both ends. Right? So then you're going to alt left bracket if you haven't already, because that's pretty much why you want to do that. Just trim it in the beginning. And you're just going to control click. So this is the 8-frame rhythm, but the first beat isn't till here, and then it starts the rhythm. It's an 8-frame rhythm. So what I like to do is I usually like to title, this is Dopeman _ 8F for 8 frames. Now you can go by 8-frame rhythm, or you could just make your own rhythm with 8 frames. Let's say your song, you figure out the rhythm, it's a 10-frame rhythm. Well, you can either go 10, 20, 30, or you can go 10, 20, 10, 30, 10, 30, 10, 20, 10, 30, 10, 20. You know? Keep the flow of the song. And if there's like a specific beat on a lyric, or a lyric on a beat, and it's in your rhythm, then just go ahead and get that and put that marker down. So it's 8, so it should be right here. And if it's not there, it's here. Right? So you just want to keep going. You want to get, oh, I'm sorry. I did that very, very adamantly. Alright. Okay, so you want to go to the first part where he scoped in. Right? You want to go 2 frames afterwards. And you want to go scope out. You want to go to the next rhythm beat, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might have, it might not be exact all the time, but it is pretty close to it. If it's like 3 or 4 frames off, it's probably because I went ahead and, yeah. So the actual beat was right here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it's like maybe 2 frames off. It's not always precise, but when you figure out the rhythm, you can go by the rhythm, and that's pretty simple. So it actually changed to 10 in this part. So you just want to get on the bolt and you want to go to the next scope in. Right? Scope in, scope out. Get the very first frame of the scope out. Because you never know, you might want to scope in right away. So that's what I usually do. And usually I like to go by lyrics, whether it's trap or rap. And then since he does a lot of animations here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these animations. Always follow it by animations, because animations is key. And then we're going to scope in. I want to get it to where it's like snapping almost, right? 2 frames, scope out. I mean, you get the point eventually. You just keep scoping in, scoping out, pull on the certain animations, make sure it's slowed in one part. The reason why you want this gap right here is because it's going to be slower, right? So then he's going to bolt. He's going to go bolt grab. And then this is a different part where I like to do this. He's going to bolt all the way. There's going to be a certain way I can do this. But it doesn't really matter. Because like he's going to see a block and he's going to hit the shot. 1, 2. Right? Because you want to get everything perfect. I had it better. I have a preview I can show you soon. That was probably better. So then you want to get a bolt. And this part you can kind of mess around with. You can actually like tell the footage to go to certain points. That's why I use control. Because control likes to be very precise with things. It goes in between frames even if you're frame bending. Anyway, J and then K move around through keyframes. First time I seen ice. First time I seen ice. So I kind of wanted to get to where he says first time. Because it is a good beat. So I like to usually on the very end, I like to show the whole thing. So I get that bolt in. And then I'll just push it in. Right? That way it shows the whole thing. And I have this expression which allows me to sync everything 100%. But what you want to do, I'll go into it more detail, is you just want to apply. I'm going to do that because I'll show you what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make these like curves, right? You do this by having a mouse and a keyboard, control zooming in, and you want to alt zoom and control zoom again. Now the curve you want to make is that curve. It's like slender, but it's has harsh attacks to it as well. And so then you want to do the same thing, keep going. You don't have to worry about these like really small skips, but it does it to them all. So if you want to take that and do that, but it's not really going to affect anything. And there are certain parts you may want to be slower. So you just switch it and you tell it to be more harsh. Which in this case, there are 2 parts where I do want more harsh. Which is that part right there. And then from there you just control click. Well, you have to click on it again. Control Shift D, K. You go 1 frame. Now this is if you're starting on the frame where you're scoping in. And Control Shift D again. And you just want to keep going across the path. Right? And Control Shift D. And you just want to get to where he's scoping in. And then the frame after he releases the scope. Right? The reason why we want to do this is to prevent scope warp. Because if you have scope warp, it's going to look really bad. It's going to show warp while he's scoping in. Then you want to control click on all these layers. right? And you're going to want to double click right here in the frame blending section. And then you want to click the frame blending panel, and it might be movie symbols, and this might be like a line, but it shows exactly the same thing, and it should give you the same exact result. And then what you should have, my friends, is a synced clip. And you might not like the result of it, but you can always change the position of the keyframes. But this should be a good example. Pretty sure. See what I could have done there? I don't like this that much. But where he says the dope man. And so what you actually should have, let me show you real quick. You should have this kind of result. But that's kind of the same thing as I just did. Because exactly what I just did was earlier. I synced it to the dope man. But anyway. But this has been the syncing tutorial. If you enjoyed, just pass it on to your friends. The next tutorial will be pan crop. Pan crop is pretty easy actually. And it's very simple and clean. You just put a key, well, anyway.